Austin Police Department Tactical Intelligence Officer, or Tactical Intelligence Unit Task Force Officer Mark McLeod, and the Austin Police Department Tactical Intelligence Unit Task Force Officer Jonathan Riley. Homeland Security Investigations Assistant Special Agent in Charge San Sato. Travis County District Attorney's Office, we have the Trial Division Intake Director Guillermo Gonzalez. The Travis County District Attorney's Office First Assistant Trudy Strasburger, and Youth Justice Division Ricky Jones. This investigation was initiated, or this fugitive investigation was initiated by the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force in the Austin Division. This task force is comprised of 13 local, state, and federal authorities that include the Austin Police Department Tactical Intel Unit and Homeland Security Investigations that are here today. This task force was formally established in 2005, and the Austin Police Department Intel Tactical Intelligence Unit was our first partnership agency. This task force was formalized to assist our local, state, and federal partners in locating and apprehending violent criminals by sharing databases in real time to create an intelligence hub to extricate the worst of the worst criminals that wreak havoc in our communities by committing acts of violence that victimize members of our communities. This task force apprehends violent criminals on a daily basis here in Austin. And to give you an example, the Austin serial bomber in March of 2018 and the 6th Street shooting that took place here in the entertainment district last year in June of 21. Our Marshals Service-sponsored task force would not be successful without our local, county, and state agencies that know their communities better than anyone else. The task force allows local crime to get federal attention, and Kaitlin Armstrong is our most recent example. This case was upgraded to major case status by the United States Marshal Service Headquarters, which involved many other specialized divisions, which could not be present today in attendance, but they include the Marshals Investigative Operations Division, Marshals Office of International Operations, Marshal Service Public Affairs Office, the United States Attorney's Office, the Department of State Diplomatic Security Services, and the Costa Rican foreign officials. On May 17th, a homicide warrant was issued for Kaitlin Armstrong. On May 18th, the Austin Police Department requested the assistance from the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force to locate and apprehend Kaitlin Armstrong, 34, who was a resident in Austin and was last known to reside in the 5300 block of Fort Clark Drive here in Austin. The Lone Star Fugitive Task Force learned during the investigation that Armstrong fled the Austin area on May 14th at approximately 12:30 p.m. when she boarded a flight from Austin Bergstrom International Airport to Hobby Airport in Houston, Texas, and then got a connecting flight to New York LaGuardia Airport. The Lone Star Fugitive Task Force contacted the United States Attorney's Office in the Western District of Texas here in the Austin Division to obtain a warrant on Armstrong for an unlawful flight to avoid prosecution when it was evident on video surveillance and boarding passes that Armstrong had fled the Austin area days after being interviewed by Austin authorities. Members of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force followed up that investigation and contacted the U.S. Marshals New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force and the U.S. Marshals in the Eastern District of Michigan to continue investigative efforts where interviews and surveillance were established. During an interview, it was learned through a confidential source that Armstrong was transported to the Newark International Airport in New Jersey, and at that time, the direction of travel was unknown. On June 6th, the U.S. Marshal Service announced the case to be upgraded to major status. This upgraded status comes with additional funding, additional manpower, and specialized skills from individuals that work in a program that was developed in 1985 by the U.S. Marshals Service to assist the U.S. Marshals' top 10 fugitives that list the most violent criminals that hide in the shadows for an extended period of time. The Marshal Service posted a cash reward listed at $5,000 for tips leading to the arrest of Armstrong, followed by a $1,000 cash reward posted by the Austin Area Capital Crime Stoppers. An anonymous donor contacted the Austin Area Crime Stoppers and provided an additional $15,000 with a combination of $21,000 for tips leading to the information of Kaitlin Armstrong. As the fugitive investigation continued, investigators with the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force learned that Armstrong sold her black Jeep Grand Cherokee to a CarMax in South Austin, where she received a check for $12,200. On June 30th, we, the Marshal Service, announced that Homeland Security investigations discovered that Armstrong boarded a United flight from Newark International Airport on May 18th and arrived in San Jose, Costa Rica at approximately 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Armstrong boarded the flight and fled to international territory by presenting a passport that did not belong to her, but belonged to someone that was closely associated with her. U.S. Marshals International Operations immediately communicated with the Department of State Diplomatic Security Services and continued investigative efforts where communication was established with foreign officials in Costa Rica in pursuit of Armstrong after using a fraudulent passport. The U.S. Marshals Service deployed 2 United States Marshals to the U.S. Embassy in Costa Rica to assist the Department of State and foreign officials with intelligence on the possible whereabouts of Kaitlin Armstrong. During the investigation in Costa Rica, it was learned that Armstrong traveled to multiple destinations to include San Jose, where she landed there at the airport, to Jaco Beach, and to Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. It was discovered Armstrong used different names, aliases, under the alias of Beth Martin, Liz, and Ari Martin, who she advised to uniformed officials at Don John's hostel in Costa Rica. Armstrong used these names at yoga studios and other lodging since her arrival in Costa Rica on May 18th. Officials involved in the investigation conducted old-fashioned law enforcement techniques, went door to door, conducted multiple interviews, going from yoga establishment to other yoga establishments, and also made contact with lodging venues that she had left behind, which then paved the way where Armstrong was detained by authorities at the Don John's hostel located in Santa Teresa Beach in Costa Rica. Armstrong was detained there in Costa Rica on the immigration violation for that fraudulent use of a passport. Armstrong was transported back to San Jose following a 6-hour drive from the hostel to San Jose, Costa Rica, where Armstrong eventually confessed to her true identity. Armstrong, according to foreign officials, Armstrong altered her physical appearance. She dyed her hair brown. She cropped her hair shorter to about shoulder length and had a bandage on her nose where she claimed it was from a surfboard incident just days before. The Department of State Diplomatic Security Services really contributed to the assistance of this apprehension. They are the long arm of the law, and they have the largest global reach of any U.S. federal agency, law enforcement agency, where they have 29 offices in U.S. cities and over 270 locations around the world. They are tasked with protecting the integrity of U.S. travel documents. The U.S. established diplomatic relations with Costa Rica in 1851. Armstrong was deported back to the U.S. by the United States Marshal Service, and on July 2nd, Armstrong arrived at the Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston, where she was received by the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force in Houston, where she was transported and booked into the Harris County Jail. I want to make it known that it's important to understand the type of difference between a deportation and an extradition. A deportation is more of an administrative function, and an extradition is an agreement amongst two countries, usually under provisions of a treaty or a statute. I'd like to also bring up the significance of the investigators on this case that stand here before me that faced the challenge, wanted to be the difference, and became the difference when Kaitlin Armstrong was taken into custody by foreign officials in Costa Rica. We have three individuals here that were the leads in this investigation. Those are Deputy United States Marshal Emir Perez, Task Force Officer Jonathan Riley, Task Force Officer Mark McLeod. These individuals, along with many other individuals in the Marshal Service when this was upgraded to a major case, forfeited their leave, their weekends, and their holidays to contribute to closing a 43-day investigation of Kaitlin Armstrong, who was a fugitive from justice, fled not only Austin, but the United States, and changed her physical appearance. Everything that the Marshal Service did in this particular case, and members of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force, when everything was upgraded to a major case, really streamlined all the information in order to communicate with foreign nationals. And like I explained to everyone in the past, it's really a speed pass like at a theme park where you jump the lines because you have something imminent and it needs to be taken care of. But we also want to remember the victim in this case and hope this is the beginning stage of closure for the Wilson family. I will now have the Austin Police Department Assistant Chief Investigations Bureau, Jerry Balzan, come forward for his statement.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jerry Balzan. I get to be one of the assistant chiefs with the Austin Police Department, and currently I oversee our Investigations Bureau. We stand here today proud of the work done alongside our partner agencies in bringing the Wilson family some closure and justice. Many of you here know about APD's outstanding homicide unit, as we boast one of the higher clearance rates in the country. But today I want to talk to you about our APD Tactical Intelligence Unit. It's comprised of one sergeant, eight officers, and a detective who collectively have over 125 years of law enforcement experience. This is evidenced in the amazing work they do day in and day out. The primary mission of our Tactical Intelligence Unit is to assist our violent crimes investigators in locating, identifying, and arresting the most violent fugitives in Central Texas. Our Tactical Intelligence Unit is part of the United States Marshals Lone Star Fugitive Task Force, and we are so grateful for this partnership because they provide us additional local, state, and federal resources, including law enforcement personnel, equipment, funding, and most importantly, training. And this all supports our violent crime investigations here in Austin, Texas. Within hours of the murder of Anna Mariah Wilson on May 11th, 2022, our APD Tactical Intelligence Unit, as they do with every homicide here in Austin, began working closely with APD's homicide unit detectives to help identify the suspect in this case. This early collaboration allowed the APD Tactical Intelligence Unit to seamlessly transition from investigation support to fugitive apprehension under the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force. Throughout the fugitive investigation, APD Tactical Intelligence Unit personnel through the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force worked with the Travis County District Attorney's Office, the Travis County District Judges, to obtain legal process in direct support of the fugitive investigation. This investigative process and assistance from our federal partners led to the arrest of Kaitlin Armstrong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. I will now have Homeland Security Investigations, a Special Assistant Agent in Charge, Stan Cito, for his statement.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Stan Cito with Homeland Security Investigations. I won't take a lot of your time. I just wanted to have a chance to speak and recognize the tenacity of the U.S. Marshals Service and its task force members in apprehending this international fugitive. Our agency's sole responsibility as a law enforcement partner is to combat transnational crime in the United States and abroad. So I was just very thankful that we had a few of our agents stationed abroad in Costa Rica to assist the Marshals' efforts to try to locate and run down leads in Costa Rica. I mean, this successful operation definitely sends a clear message to criminals that no matter where crime is committed, no matter where you flee, you're not beyond the reach of the law. We'll utilize every resource partnership to make sure that you come to justice. And I definitely want to recognize Amir, APD, and all task force members for their outstanding work. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now I will have the United States Marshal Supervisory Deputy Chris Rhodes with his statement.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Rhodes, and I'm the Supervisory Deputy U.S. Marshal for the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force, Austin Division. The Austin Division is comprised of 26 specially deputized task force officers and 5 Deputy U.S. Marshals. The 26 specially deputized task force officers come from 12 local, state, and federal agencies. This diverse group of officers gives us a significant advantage when it comes to locating and apprehending fugitives. Last fiscal year, the Austin Division closed approximately 650 local, state, and federal warrants by arrest. The Armstrong case highlights the effectiveness of local, state, federal, and international authorities working together to apprehend a violent fugitive. The task force officers and Deputy U.S. Marshals assigned to this case worked day and night until Armstrong was apprehended. We would like to thank all our domestic and international partners that assisted with this investigation. We could not have brought Armstrong to justice without their dedication and support. Thank you.
And just before I close here, I'd like to give a special thank you, especially through the course of this investigation with the help of the U.S. Marshals Public Affairs at headquarters in Washington, D.C. that really assisted us and assisted communication with you all that are here today, where we fielded over 222 email correspondence on media questions, conducted over 40 interviews on national TV, and that doesn't account for phone calls and text messages.